Hello, how's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. And after a very disappointing, painful, very rough day yesterday and everything being in the turmoil, we turn back to Arsenal once again today in today's stream to talk about Arteta, his more of his comments, gonna address Jesus' injury, some transfer rumors, and we gonna speak about Arsenal in general in terms of what's gonna happen next, because at the moment, as much as I want Arteta to go now, he is gonna stay because Kroenkes are gonna keep him unless something major happens. We lose to Spurs and we lose to Villa and stuff like that. But otherwise, bigger chance than not, Arteta is gonna stay till the end of the season, and then we basically either if he has any balls, he will quit himself, or not, then he will be assessed. I genuinely believe. So, obviously, we are 2 weeks into the transfer window. Still no action from Arsenal, of course. No proper links, no nothing. Just random rumors floating around in the footballing world. So we're going to talk about that as well. About the seriousness of the club, of the ownership and everything. And yeah. I hope you're better today than yesterday. Let's be real. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not. I'm genuinely not. Today at work, I was sitting there rereading some stuff Arteta has said and kind of putting this all together in the context and everything. And yeah, it feels like the beginning of the end. One way or another, it's the beginning of the end to some extent. For Arteta, not for this club, obviously, because this club is gonna keep existing, but it's the end of Arteta. I think it's the beginning, if not already we are midway through it, and we are back in phase 1 to some extent. It feels that way. We are back in phase 1, phase 2, I would say, the way Mikel Arteta would describe this, so we're going to talk about that as well. So if you're new around here, of course, subscribe, smash that like button, smash it, destroy it. It takes literally a second, helps the algorithm, helps me a lot. Subscribe if you're new around here, of course, share it around, leave your comments down in the live chat. We're definitely gonna tackle them, discuss them. And yeah, if you're watching this as a playback, leave your comments down below. And I'm because I answer pretty much every single comment I get. Big up Nathan in the chat already here. Big up Nathan, my guy. Big up. No more phases. Exactly, no more phases, because if Arteta stays, we give him more money. It's phase 6, phase 7, phase 8, phase 9. It will be 2050. And Arteta will say, well, next year is the year. It will be phase 2688. And we basically are still going to pray that we do something in those terms. Joffa Club, at the moment, nothing. There's no other way to describe this. Arsenal as well have tweeted some very rage-infuriating things today, I'm not gonna lie, which really pissed me off as well. We're gonna look at those, and it's nothing pretty, let's just put it that way. After yesterday's loss, it's genuinely something you don't want to see that quickly. Spurs gonna play like Prime Brazil against these lot, dude. It's actually kind of nuts. It's genuinely kind of nuts. I was sitting on TikTok today at some point while I was walking home, and I saw a random talk that was basically, I don't know if it was AI generated or not, but basically it stated that after the game against United, there was a turmoil in the dressing room. Saliba was expressing his disappointment and his anger about the fact that defensively nobody is helping in a way. Everyone's all over the place. He addressed it. Martin Odegaard didn't like it. He stood up to him, stood into his face and everything. And basically it's up to Mikel Arteta to basically quiet down the dressing room, because it genuinely looks that way. That I kind of get a feeling, and you can see sometimes when you look at Saliba specifically, in his eyes, and I don't mean any zesty stuff here, let's be real, that he has that look that Van Persie had, that Cesc had, that to some extent Alexis had as well. That fact that this is not it. This is not it. If you have any ambition, currently Arsenal, the way we are going, the way we are playing under Arteta, the way Arteta is doing things, it's not the way for the future for them. If they want to leave their own legacy, their own name in footballing world, this is not the place to do it. Let's just put it that way. And as we saw, Cesc moved to Barcelona, phenomenal. Moved to Chelsea, fantastic. Van Persie moved to United, single-handedly won them the title. Alexis, that's a different story, although he went to United, then to Marseille, then to Inter, won a Scudetto, then again he's moving all over the place. He's at the moment at Udinese, and he's 50 years old, pretty much what it feels like. It's still, he's balling out there at Udinese. Because, if I'm not mistaken as well, he's actually doing pretty darn good there. Alexis Sanchez. Let's check this. Alexis Sanchez, how is he doing at the moment? Because if I'm not mistaken, he's actually doing pretty darn good. Oh, damn, these cookies and everything. He's played 3 games in Serie A, 1 in there, but he's playing for Udinese. He's doing pretty darn good as well. Like, he's 36 and he's still balling out. Still balling out on top level. And to kind of get the feeling that even Alexis at this stage at Arsenal would do better than most of the players we have currently in that team. And I said about Saliba and that look, it feels like it's just a matter of time, if nothing changes, that Saliba will say, well, screw you, Arteta, I'm gonna leave. He's gonna hand in transfer request. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's not the only one that follows him if that happens. And kind of get that feeling that dark times are coming. Unless Arteta basically changes, he becomes actually somewhat proactive, not actually some, I don't know, like a maniac, control freak. If he doesn't let that go, the players will turn on him quite heavily. That's how it looks like at the moment. Because the turmoil is inevitable. He will lose the dressing room if this keeps up and everything. And it's gonna look pretty damn ugly. I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, I guess it is what it is. We'll have to wait and see how it unfolds. On Wednesday we play Spurs at home. If we lose that game, can you imagine the scenes in Arsenal's fan base that at Emirates we lose to Spurs? Because the way we are playing currently, it's not looking good. It genuinely is not looking good. Because, dude, we couldn't score against Everton. We couldn't score against Everton. We barely scored against United. How are we gonna score against Spurs? Yes, they have the high line and everything, but they are much more dangerous in the attack. Yes, they barely beat electricians and postmans in FA Cup yesterday. At the same time, it's not gonna be the same. Because we all know that in North London Derby, the form goes out the window to some extent. But for Arsenal, there's no form to go out of the window. We're gonna face Spurs without Saka for the first time in how many years? And at the moment, we are not in the best ways in general. At this point, Kroenkes either need to back him with another exactly, or get a new manager. Personally, the big thing is, I wouldn't give Arteta any penny whatsoever. Not a single penny. I would wait till the end of the season, sack him, and give the money you would have given Arteta to the new manager. That's what I would do. Because he has been given £750 million. Shouldn't that be enough to actually win something? Let's be real. Clubs that spend 10 times less win stuff. Clubs that should be nowhere near winning stuff, win stuff. While Arsenal are sitting here scratching their asses and basically doing nothing. That is the big thing. Because I'm not surprised that we are linked with everyone, yet we cannot sign anyone. Because if I'm a businessman, for example, I'm Josh Kroenke. Bear with me here. I give you 750 million and you ask me for more money, when that money actually, if you spend it properly and wisely, should be enough to have proper 11 and proper bench and proper depth in the squad. And you come out in the interview, say that you don't have good enough squad, our starting 11 is struggling, I don't have depth in the team, our bench is not good for rotation. I'm not giving you the money. What good businessman gives money, invests money in a project that is failing miserably to some extent at the moment? That it's basically on the brink of destruction. Especially if he has invested nearly $1 billion before. What business operates that way? That's a lose-lose situation already in that regard. Let's be real. Big up TK, big up my guy. Big up, big up, big up. Arteta out, that is all. Exactly. Arteta out. Obviously, sacking him now might not be the best option because unless Kroenkes are serious and we go and sign Allegri, Inzaghi, Ancelotti, who I read today that Real Madrid still has full backing for him, so he's not getting sacked. unless we go actually and offer 2-3 times the salary other clubs are paying to the manager and he wants to relocate, I don't have any belief in Kroenkes that they will get the right guy. Because if you look at Kroenkes, they have had the protection by Wenger, they have had full-on protection by Mikel Arteta. Only manager that they didn't have protection from was Unai Emery. And ultimately the fans turn against Unai Emery at the end of the day. Let's be real. I still believe that if we gave Unai Emery 750 million, let's be real, he probably would have won us something. FA Cups, Carabao Cups, Europa League, let's be real. He got us to the final instantly. If we gave him that 750 million, he would have probably won it by now. He would do good in Champions League. We wouldn't have to watch this crap. I'm not gonna lie, I much rather concede 25-30 shots a game and then I put myself out 20 shots and the game ends 2-2, 2-1, 3-1. Then I basically watch this crap where we have shots, we cannot finish empty net chances, and the other team gets almost no chances to some extent during the game whatsoever, yet they still manage to score. Because from yesterday's game, one of the biggest things I took is that obviously we need a striker, we cannot finish our dinner, but to add on top of that, every single time United went in the attack on counters and everything, I never did have any calmness in myself that it's not going to be dangerous. We always were on the back foot when we were defending. And that for me is a big issue. That for me is a massive issue. Especially when you have pitched down 300-400 million on defense, you still force your attackers to help that defense. And at the end of the day, you still concede, you cannot defend. Our best defense in the league, who is the same as last year, cannot defend this year almost. And the attack, who is scary, scintillating and dangerous as Top Gunners are describing them, cannot score a single goal. What are we gonna do? Wait till March until Havertz hits another purple patch and he scores some goals so we don't look as miserable as we do now? So we can stat pad our goal scoring form, we can stat pad goal difference and everything. What are we doing here? Let's be real. Even if we had still Eddie Nketiah up top against United yesterday, those chances that fell to Havertz, 5 yards out, 3 yards out, I have more confidence in Nketiah, as much as it sounds weird to say this, for him to score, than Kai Havertz currently. And imagine the levels, how much I believe in this team if I'm saying this right now. Exactly, we cannot just sit back and do nothing. Look at the table in Premier League. Look at the goddamn table. Man City are only 6 points behind us. Arguably the worst start of the season in the first half for City ever had under Pep Guardiola. Right? And they're only 6 points behind us? Only 6! And they already are spending 180-200 million to sign Marmoush, Ederson, that Brazilian kid, Kusanov for defense. They are addressing their issues. And don't be surprised, and I'm gonna die on this hill most likely, but I'm gonna say this now. We place, what's its face? Man City on 2nd of February. We played them on 2nd of February, right? Don't be surprised that by then there's a big possibility that we actually are on the same point as City. City have caught us up. Don't be surprised. Because City actually are a serious club. They know the issues and they're trying to fix it. They have full confidence in Pep that he will fix them. Let's be real. And then we have Arsenal, who sits in their chairs, twiddle their thumbs, and basically do nothing. Watch this misery unfold to the full extent. Injuries, cannot score, cannot win, cannot do anything, out of every cups. And then, to add on top of it, there is this manager called Super Duper Mikartera, Lego-headed Paella who comes out in an interview and say, are we going to win big trophies? I don't know. That instantly says me there's a loser mentality in this team. How can you challenge for title 2 years in a row? Okay, 22-23 season, nobody expected us to challenge. To some extent I can give us for not winning. Obviously 8 points clear with game in hand for City and everything. It's looking very bad, but at the same time, nobody expected that. Okay, kinda can forgive it. But next season, you should be winning it. But no, we lose it again because, again, we shoot ourselves in the foot, just like we did against Olympiacos, like we did against Monaco, against Villarreal, and other teams we have done over the years. When going gets tough, we fall under the pressure. Instantly. Instantly, we fall under the pressure. Arsenal had the nerve before the game against, against United to say, we invite the pressure, we love the pressure. And they folded like babies. And then, next day, they come out with this. New week, new motivation. Have some shame. You just lost to United in hella embarrassing fashion in FA Cup. One of the worst United teams in the recent times. A manager who has been here for barely 2 months. And he already has figured out a way to stop you. With a team that is, I'm not gonna kid, 10 times worse than Arsenal. How are you not like, how do you have the nerve to tweet out new week, new motivation? I get it that you need to move on. I get it that you need to brush this aside and focus on Spurs. But come on. Dude, tweeting out this? Genuinely, tweeting out this. Then they tweet out Arsenal diary, loan watch, late Lokonga assist, clean sheet for Hein, 5 gunners in action. They tweet Mikel Arteta's Odegaard interviews, every word, full time. Our FA Cup journey comes to an end. Attention turns to Wednesday, North London derby. Our cup journey comes to an end here. It didn't even fucking start there. We haven't got past the 3rd or 4th round 5 years straight since you have won it. What journey? There hasn't been a journey to begin with. You basically packed your bags, tied up your shoelaces, and said, well, I'm kind of bored, I decide not to go there. Like, what are we doing here? What serious club does this? Like, seriously, what serious club does this? You don't see almost any other club besides Premier League teams, the big ones by the way, like Spurs, and teams like that to tweet, oh, our FA Cup journey comes to an end here. Obviously Spurs are through, but you get the reference because that happened last year as well. I never see Man City tweet these things. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Juventus, Inter Milan, they never tweet stuff like this. They just tweet out the score and that's it. No, FA Cup journey comes to an end. Like, and then there are top of the toppest of gooners who have the nerve to blame the kit for our shortcomings. They have the nerve to say that it's the shirt that makes us play bad. Like, what are we doing here? Seriously, what the fuck are we doing here? Odegaard has chest in kit room, but it's exactly. Odegaard is like a pillow on the pitch, basically. You can just and he falls over instantly. He backs out of challenges as well now since the ankle injury. He's been useless since his ankle injury. And to be honest, we should have had a replacement for him, but we don't. We sold Emil Smith-Rowe, one replacement. As much as I don't rate Fabio Vieira, he was a replacement, let's be real. And you loaned him out as well. Now Odegaard is without a backup. In summer, I called that there will be injuries because last year we went without injuries. We are overplaying the players and there are gonna be consequences. I called that. In summer, we called this consistently. What Arsenal does? Well, who cares? They don't do it. They don't think ahead. Oh, we're gonna avoid injuries again. Fast forward few weeks, Odegaard injured. Few months, Saka is injured. And of course the usual suspects get injured all the time. Arteta needs to learn how to calm down. He's responsible for the players, but sometimes he looks shook to the point that he doesn't know who to sub on. I don't think he ever knows who to sub on. Because he makes the same substitutions every single goddamn time. Player per player substitutions. You take off a left back, you put on a left back. You take off a midfielder, you put on a midfielder. You take off an attacker, you put on an attacker. Point per point substitutions. As much as I hated that we had to rely on Eddie Nketiah against Bayern Munich, when we subbed him on when we needed a goal, at least then he subbed on an attacker for midfielder or defender it was at the time. At least then he tried something. Against Bournemouth 2 seasons ago, When we were losing, then it was a draw. Last minutes of the game, he subbed on every single attacker he had on the bench to try and attack, to try and score the winning goal. Now we don't see that anymore, whatsoever. We don't see this whatsoever to any single point. It feels like he always talks to Airport Albert and everyone else to basically suggest him what to do. Every single time we're drawing, losing, the game is not going our way, what he's doing, he has the deer in headlights look. He doesn't know what he's doing. And it's very evident. The results, the actions, the movements, the body language, and the players see that as well. They're also panicking. Wouldn't you panic as a player if your manager on the sidelines is landing airplanes at LAX, at anywhere? Like, seriously, wouldn't you panic? Indecision's the worse than wrong decision. Exactly, that is the thing. They can't sit on their hands and wait till the end of the season. Well, depends. Genuinely depends. Because this January window stinks of the summer window. Basically, where you need to sell to sign. Because Cronkies are not going to give this bum another penny. They don't want to give him another penny. They have given him 750 million. Whose fault is that he hasn't spent it properly? Of course, him. Throughout the half of the summer window, we were reading articles about the fact that there are disagreements, arguments in the hierarchy, that they don't trust that Calafiori is the right answer. They don't trust that Mikel Merino is the right answer. Ultimately, but at the end, Mikel Arteta got what he wanted. He got the final saying. He tried to convince, and basically he took everyone by the scruff of their necks and said, I want him and I need him. Now use them. Oh wait, Calafiori is injured once again. Use Mikel Merino. Dude, he's more useless than El Neni. Like, what are we doing here? Merino is utterly shit. He hasn't changed since the time 7-8 years ago when he was at Newcastle. Same awful player. Send him back. He wasn't even the best midfielder in Real Sociedad. He's like the third or fourth best. After Zubimendi, Bryce Mendes, and that Berenet, I forgot his name, but there's another guy who's in midfield, plays number 10 many times. He's the third, fourth best midfielder in Real Sociedad's team even. How can you be the best if you sign basically the scraps of other teams? Havertz, Jesus, Zinchenko? Do I need to keep on going? Genuinely, money wasted left, right, and center. Exactly, and they gave him a new contract, 15 mil a year, second, third best paid manager in the world football. The crazy thing is Havertz is our top goal scorer, tells you everything you need. Exactly. The worst part is Havertz is our top goal scorer. But now think about the fact that what if instead of Havertz we actually had a striker? Because let's be real, all these chances he misses, a proper striker, at least half of them puts in the back of the net. And if that was the case, let's be real, we actually would have been on top of the table. We actually would have been through in FA Cup, in Carabao Cup. We actually would have done properly in Champions League. Because those chances that Havertz misses on consistent basis, more often than not, are game-deciding misses. We have seen this game after game, and nothing has changed. Yet top gunners say we don't need a striker. When Arteta gets asked in an interview, do we need a forward? He says no. Like, what are we doing here? Like, seriously, what the hell are we doing here? Big up Arsenal Manic, big up Ojo, big up my guy. Exactly, it's like deja vu. We have seen this before. It's like that Taylor Swift song. I've seen this film before and I didn't like the ending. And that's the same thing. It was under Arsene Wenger, and it's now the same thing here. We have seen this film, we have seen this unfold before. And did we like the ending? No, we didn't. The whole fan base was toxic. It was basically butting heads. And it's now getting to the same point. At that time, it was Wenger in versus Wenger out. Now it's Arteta in versus Arteta out. It's just a matter of time until it gets to, maybe not to the same extent, but maybe to some extent of the time, then they're gonna basically punch each other up at Emirates. The airplanes are gonna fly over Emirates with banners Arteta out. It's just a matter of time until banners and stuff like that starts to come out. Genuinely, it's just a matter of time. Big up Morgan, big up Akin. I honestly tried, man. It's just so disheartening. Exactly. That is the big thing. That is the big thing. And one of the biggest things I don't think people, top gooners and everyone don't realize, nobody is bigger than the club. Nobody is bigger than the club. Yet they treat Mikel Arteta like he's bigger than anyone else. Mikel Arteta, by this fan base, these top gooners, Arteta sexuals, Arteta only fans, and everyone, is more protected than Joe Biden or Donald Trump, the president of the United States. He's more protected. Like, how does that even work? This is the most protected manager in the world. On top of that, this manager protects Cronkies with his life pretty much. And which manager protects his ownership like that? I get you are employed by them, but you need to call them out as well. Yet he comes out and says, oh, this is the best ownership I have ever worked under. Is it really? You can tell that it's utter shit and bullcrap he's saying. He's lying pretty much. Hasn't he worked at Man City? Hasn't he seen how those owners operate? How they work? How they resolve issues? How can you say Cronkies are the best owners? Give over, man. Ever since those owners walk in, we have been going and never... Exactly. And it's genuinely, it's just like TK said. Big up Morgan again. It's like TK said. It's almost like we've seen this before. It's never-ending circle. It's just we go and go and go until we get back to the same point, just a bit more up the scale, like we were a few years ago. And we are there again. We are slowly getting there. It's not that far off. Yeah, he's not tactically versatile. It's one way. That's it. One way. No imagination, no tweaking, no new things, no, as Arteta likes to say, evolution and everything. Why are we so slow? Slow to attack, to defend, slow to we fall asleep. That's the thing. Many times I watch Arsenal, I'm half asleep while I watch them. I watch the game on my screen and I generally find myself clicking through tabs on my screen just so I have something to do. Because I see Saliba passing to Gabriel about 5 minutes. I click off the screen. I'm listening to commentary. Maybe something's gonna happen. I do something. I write to someone, answer some messages. Maybe I need to do some stuff at work. I click back on the screen where Arsenal are playing, and I still see the same thing. Partey is passing to Gabriel. Gabriel is passing back to Saliba. On the counters, we are slow. We are basically, as soon as we get into opponent's final third, and we have a chance to be a bit direct, have them on the back foot, we stop the play, we turn around, we pass it backwards, we recycle the ball. We give them a chance to set up defensively. That's it. The moment's gone. We cannot attack anymore. And then again, we start this U-shaped type football, and it's all the same over again. Saliba to Gabriel, to Partey, to Odegaard, back to Partey, back to Saliba, back to Gabriel, and over and over and over again. With no directness, all toothless, no imagination, same thing over and over again. A wise man once said, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results is a sign of insanity. And that's what it is at the moment. Watching Arsenal is basically an insanity. Because you watch Arsenal, you expect different things, you see the same things, but you never learn, you still watch them. Same goes for Arteta. He tries the same thing over and over and over again. It doesn't work. Next game, he tries the same thing. Do I trust that we're gonna play differently against Spurs? No, I don't. Do I trust we're gonna play differently against Aston Villa? No, I don't. We're gonna play the same way. Like, there is nothing to be excited about currently as an Arsenal fan. Nothing. Genuinely nothing to be excited as an Arsenal fan. That's how bad it is. That's what hurts the most. 2 years ago, I was excited for Arsenal's next game. I wanted for Arsenal to play every day pretty much, the way we played football. This season, I'm dreading every single game. I'm watching this as a scary movie, behind the sofa, hands on my face, between the fingers, in hopes I don't see anything scary. That's how I'm watching Arsenal currently. It's like watching a scary movie. It's actually embarrassing, genuinely embarrassing, and it really grinds my gears that still there are people that don't see this. They still back the manager, they still back this ownership, they still back the players, they still back everything. There's no accountability for anyone. There is no questions, no nothing. Everything's fine and dandy. La la land. Whee! All is rainbows, all is roses and everything for them. That's what's pissing me off the most. Anyhow, yesterday as well, we got trolled by Domino's. It's gone to a point where even a pizza delivery service is trolling us. Sorry if we've missed any orders tonight. We've just had this guy start. How embarrassing is that? Generally, how embarrassing is this? How embarrassing is this when they tweet this stuff out? When you see stuff like this being tweeted out. And it's not by top gooners, it's not by Arsenal fans, but actually someone big. You get what I mean. Someone established. Like, how embarrassing is to watch this stuff unfold? Where do we go from here if there aren't any funds for a striker? That's the thing. Arsenal have the money. Professional accountants have calculated everything, and allegedly, and everything, right? Multiple ones have come out and said Arsenal most likely will post around 160 million loss, right? Over the course of the season. Over the 2024. Yet at the same time, Arsenal have no PSR and FFP issues. I know that PSR and FFP was made for certain reasons, but ultimately it has been made to have an excuse not to sign anyone. Because now Cronkies, Arteta, Top Gooners, all these men have an excuse. Oh, we couldn't sign because of FFP. Oh, we couldn't sign because we're gonna breach PSR rules. Then it comes to the other point. Why are we the only club in the goddamn Premier League that follows these rules like it's the Holy Bible? Why? All the clubs have breached the rules. All the clubs have gone out of it by just selling some players randomly and everything. Yet Arsenal are holding to it like it's the Holy Bible. Nothing. We cannot step out of the boundaries. Nope, we cannot break the rules. Yet every other team that in Premier League does it. Consistently. Everton did it. Leicester did it. Nottingham Forest did it. City, obviously. Chelsea. Every team does it. Havertz, Martinelli, Trossard, Sterling. That's all we have. Exactly. And the worst part is, 3 of them are gonna start. Which means we have only 1 substitution on the bench for attacking positions. God forbid one of them gets injured. Because Sterling just has come back from injury as well. Imagine that. We are legitimately 1 attacker away from being forced to sub on Kabia or Yedeji, our under 21s, as a substitutes. And to some extent, why not? Like, seriously, why the hell not? Because let's be real, they cannot do worse than these bums we have up top. We are toothless and useless as we are in the attack. Do you think they would do much worse? Do you really think Oyedeji maybe wouldn't have scored the chances Havertz had yesterday? Do you think Kabia would do worse than Sterling? Than Martinelli, Trossard on the wings? Kinda don't think so. There's nothing to lose and everything to gain by playing them, let's be real. And the biggest thing is, Arteta got asked in the interview, will we sign a forward this transfer window? And he said no. Like, seriously, he said no. Where is this presser? Arteta presser, every word post Man United. He got asked, here we go, on whether there is need for another forward. And Arteta said no. But I mean, we miss in various ways from different plays, and I understand, guys, but I cannot love our players more. Just useless waffle. But ultimately, he says no. He gently comes out and says no. Why? Why we are like this? Why is Arsenal like this? Why is this club so useless and a joke for club? Like, seriously, why are we like this? There are reports that Manieri is gonna be back late January, early February. Most likely that's why we are not gonna sign a forward. Because Manieri is generally 2 weeks away from coming back. And again, what we're gonna do, like we did in earlier times, we're gonna basically throw everything on a teenager's shoulder, just like we did with Cesc, like we did with Saka, like we did with Wilshere, like we did with Ramsey, and like we did with everyone. Nothing has changed. Genuinely, nothing has changed. Everyone's saying sign one, well, we need signings, but I ain't giving him a single. Exactly. That is my thought process. Don't give this Spanish Lego-headed paella, cone man, Waffle House merchant any pennies. Don't give him any money whatsoever. Sack him on the spot, sign a proper manager, and give him the money you would have given him, potentially. Do that. Genuinely go and do that. The biggest issue about that, though, is, do I trust this ownership, this board, after Mikel Arteta, to go out and sign a proper manager? No, I don't. Because most of the managers that are proven winners that I want at the club, like Allegri, Inzaghi, Flick, Simeone, Ancelotti and everything, won't stand for this bullcrap Kroenkes are trying to pull half the time. Do you think if we signed Inzaghi, he would protect Kroenkes like Arteta does? Do you think Inzaghi would protect like Wenger did? Do you think Ancelotti would protect Kroenkes? Flick would protect Kroenkes? Allegri would protect Kroenkes? No, the hell they would not. They would generally be, you give me the money to sign the players or I'm resigning. That's it. Genuinely, that would be the end of discussion. You either do that or this. At the end of the day. That's crazy. That's crazy that Domino's is trolling us. Football. Dude. It's embarrassing. I hold Kroenkes at fault. If they won't give him more money, sack him now. Exactly. Why? The thing is, sacking him right now, to some extent, is one of the worst things you can do. Because they won't be whatsoever in rush to replace him until the end of the season. But season is done in general already for us, in my opinion. We are not going to win the Premier League. We are not going to win the Champions League. And let's be real, we are not beating Newcastle 3-0 to progress through in the Carabao Cup. Right? So that means most likely Erpod Albert is going to be the main coach in term until the end of the season. And if he manages to secure top 4 at the end of the season, right? Guess what? He's going to be a full-time coach then. They're not going to look any further because they don't have to. That is for me another big issue. They already are talks that Jason Ato, who is the replacement for Edu, the interim, basically Edu Gaspar's notepad, we have a sporting director, he's in the front runner to be a full-time sporting director at Arsenal. What has he done to earn this role at this club? The same way you can say, what has Arteta done in his coaching career to earn a job for one of the biggest clubs in England? Like seriously, that's like me going basically to one of the biggest bank firms in my country and they instantly promote me to basically the manager role, regional manager, out of nowhere, instantly, put me up there, instantly, out of nowhere. I'm the president of the company pretty much. They would do that. Does a serious business, does a serious club operate in such fashion? Because let's be real, this is a business for Kroenkes. It's not a football club, this is a business. Because we fund everything they have besides us. It's like for EA Sports, for example, EA franchise, right? FIFA, EAFC, basically funds every single EA franchise they have. Because they make billions on EA Sports, EAFC, FIFA, right? Similarly like Arsenal. Arsenal are the club that funds their Colorado Rapids, Denver Nuggets, that Colorado Avalanche, their lacrosse team and everyone else. Their malls they're building, railways they're building, everything. That is the thing. That is the worst part. The thing is, sacking manager right now, as much as I want to happen, could also mean we drop out of top 4. That also could be the case. Let's also not forget about that. But maybe that is the case, what needs to be done for some people to wake up. Maybe they will wake up and smell the coffee at the end of the day. Who knows? Let's be real. But ultimately, what are we doing here? Because for me, sack Arteta, pay off the 45 million, arguably the best 45 million they will have spent in their careers at Arsenal, Kroenkes, right? and double, triple the wages of Inzaghi. I don't care. Inzaghi at the moment at Inter Milan is on 5.5 million. Arteta is earning nearly 3 times that. What has Arteta won? What has Inzaghi won? Let's be real. Just think about it that way. None of the men, like if you look at the most paid managers, Arteta is the only one who is on such big money who has won nothing. Legitimately nothing. One FA Cup that wasn't even with his squad. That's about it. Generally, that's about it. In those top 10 most paid, top 20 most paid managers, there's also Giroud and stuff like that, but that's solely because of Saudi, right? Rest of the managers, you have your Inzaghi, Simeone, Pep, Ancelotti, you have Arne Slot, you have Jose Mourinho in there. They all are winners. They have won stuff, actually major trophies in their career. Those AI-inspired press con, pretty much. That's the worst part. These questions get scouted before they basically have a sit down, as far as I know, from what I have heard, that they sit down before the interview, the press conference, and they talk through the questions they're gonna get asked. And they say, yes, you can ask that, no, you cannot ask that. And if you ask the wrong question, you are never getting invited back into the box to ask Mikolas any other questions. They'll sign Xavi or someone. Dude, I don't want Xavi whatsoever. Best way to do this is to announce that he's leaving at the end of the season. That will take the pressure off every damn year. Exactly. Every damn year is the same thing. Sacking Arteta at the end of the season is the best thing you can do. Because that means new manager can come in, you can give him time, give him the window, give him the money, get the players, get to know the players, adjust tactics and everything, implement his own system. He will have 2 months. That's the best thing you can do. Ultimately, at the end of the season, that's the best damn thing you can do. Sacking him right now, as good as it would be, it could also do more harm than good to some extent. But, at the same time, I don't want to watch this bullshit I'm watching every single day now. Every single game. That is the big thing. This is wild. Anyways, according to Miguel Delaney, some transfer rumors, right? Arsenal have a growing interest in sporting Viktor Gyökeres to go with Leipzig's Benjamin Šeško. So Šeško is still on the cards and Gyökeres allegedly as well. But the former would require 80 million. They would rather spend that in summer. Of course, every single signing is targeted for summer. Nothing right now, nothing in January. Every single link I have seen right now in the last few days, I would say 99%, besides maybe 1-2 players, have been for summer. The time to act is now, though. Exactly. And to add insult to the injury, Gyökeres will be available for a cut price fee of 63 million in the summer. 20 million less than his release clauses in January. You want Gyökeres, you pay the goddamn release clauses, you move on, and you get a proper bagsman. No excuses, nothing. So you want to tell me we are basically gonna wait till summer to go for Gyökeres because he's 20 mil cheaper, and you want to tell me there won't be other clubs that want him? There will be no Barcelona, no Man City, no Aston Villa, let's be real, as well. No United with Amorim in front of leading the charge. There won't be other clubs that want him because that is generally for Gyökeres is a cut price deal to some extent. And Arsenal have said themselves, Arteta has said it himself, just like Edu, we don't want to get involved in bidding wars. So that means Gyökeres is out of the question. It only leaves Šeško. Šeško scored a banging goal yesterday, I'm not gonna lie. That was phenomenal power shot he scored there. But it is what it is. But Šeško, is he the answer? Šeško didn't sign for Arsenal because allegedly he got told by Arteta or whoever that he's gonna be a backup for Havertz. Have you seen Havertz play on the pitch? Have you seen Havertz play on the goddamn pitch and waste chances? How can you tell a striker that he is be a backup dancer to a tranquilized German giraffe who loves his donkeys and couldn't fight his way of a paper bag? Couldn't score with $1,000 in his pocket in a brothel? Come on, man, what are we doing here? Really pisses me off, this stuff. Anyways, Moving on to Jesus. According to Physio Scout, basically football injury analyst, Gabriel Jesus' injury points to an ACL injury due to the collapse of the knee pivoting and a tibia bone shifting being seen in the video, basically as in the replays. That means he's about out for 9 or so months. It's unlikely the Brazilian only suffered meniscus, isolated MCL injury, or a bone bruise. That would be 3 to 4 months, or a bit more than a week, 2-3 weeks. So ultimately, knowing Jesus, knowing our luck, and knowing how this is gonna go, he will need another surgery, and he's out till the end of the season pretty much. That is pretty much confirmed here. Let's be real. Let's not kid ourselves. He is out till the end of the season. You know what's crazy? Why do we sign players so and put so much pressure on them, hoping they save us? You need 3 goal scorers to help Saka, but no, this one player will fix all. But no, one player will fix. Exactly, that is the big thing. If we sign one player, it's great. It's gonna help us, but not to extent that everyone thinks. Because for Arsenal to kind of have a proper squad, they need to sign about 6 or 7 players currently. They need to sign a striker, a backup for Saka, backup for Odegaard, backup for goalkeeper Raya, backup. We need Jorginho and Partey are leaving at the end of the season, so that means we need to sign 2 more midfielders. We need to sign a left wing, and the list goes on and on. So again, in the summer, if we don't sign anyone properly now, in summer, we will be back to phase 2. Pretty much, phase 1, phase 2. We again will need to rebuild the squad, because half the squad will be gone or not good enough. It's never-ending story. It never changes. But for Cronkies, as long as we get top 4, they're happy, because they get the money, they get the revenue, TV rights, everything, plus Champions League money and everything. Top 4 is like a trophy, Arsene Wenger used to say. Kroenke, when he bought Arsenal, said, I didn't buy Arsenal to win trophies. Those 2 statements have stuck with most of the top Gunners like nothing else. Genuinely, like nothing else. They have glued it on their chest with super glue, with grizzly glue, and it's not coming off. They have adapted it, implemented it, and they live by it at the end of the day. And that's why this club is in this gutter. Because many fans have no standards for this club. They all want happy, lovey-dovey vibes, but they don't want trophies. They much rather have Arsenal play beautiful football than win trophies at the end of the day. Some people have said it even on streams, their own streams. I need to move on. So, according to Miguel Delaney, Mikel Arteta wants a forward, but he's not going to go all out publicly for many different reasons. Why not? It's not like nobody knows that. It's no secret that Arsenal needs striker, they need another forward. We need 2 forwards basically. It's not a secret. It's nothing special. It's not like it's a well-kept secret, or it's like you have something you have to keep in Fort Knox behind closed doors and nobody can know about this. It's not like Area 51 or something. Everyone knows this. Whether you like to admit it or not, everyone in footballing world knows. Arsenal need a striker, they need a winger, they will need 2 midfielders, they still need a left back, they need a goalkeeper, and they need a defender and 2 midfielders as well. Everyone knows this. And why do you want to keep it a secret? Like seriously. Any club that you're gonna go to, it doesn't matter. Whether it's Barcelona, whether it's Real Madrid, whether it's Bologna again, God forbid, whether it's, I don't know, CD Cadiz, Las Palmas, RB Leipzig, whoever. Every club knows that Arsenal are in the gutters and they need 2 forwards, 3 midfielders, 2 defenders, and an extra goalkeeper. And if you want to take their best player, you will need to charge top dollar for that. You will need to pay top dollar for that. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. So why do they want to keep it secret? Why? Arteta wants Nico Williams, but his wages are very high. Who cares? The problem is Arsenal are down to their bare bones. They're not. It's a lie. They pretty have to buy in the final weeks in January. Man, this is just never-ending circle. Full-on lies and everything, misinformation. Some other thing, Mikel Arteta, there are some news that Mikel Arteta wants a forward, but he's not going to go out publicly. Mikel Arteta he wants Nico Williams, he wants Gyökeres and Šeško, they're both interested, but at the end of the day, let's be real. We want Nico Williams, we want Gyökeres, we want Šeško, then we are linked with Vlahovic again and everything. Hell, you can get Douglas Luiz on loan from Juventus, who you were head over heels in love with 2.5 seasons ago, but now you don't want him. He actually would be a proper number 6. Let's be real, let's not beat around the bush here. There is a chance of signing him, but all of a sudden he doesn't want him. We were ready to sign Mudryk for 90 million. You show that you need a left wing. Since then we haven't signed one. Let's be real, we haven't signed a proper left winger. You were ready to pay 70 million for Vlahovic, but since then you haven't gone in for another striker. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Before that, we were ready to pay 80 million for Lamela. And speaking of which, by the way, Lamela, remember the guy from Monaco at the time? Arsenal, not Arsenal, but in general, allegedly, he's available on loan. And Atletico Madrid are willing to cover part of his wages. Odds on Arsenal are gonna go in for him. They have a chance to get him 5 years later. Once again, another player, if we go for him, we might get him 5 years too late. It's a never-ending story. Always too late. Always just looking for better business. Always saying, oh, we are looking for unique opportunities in the window. Unique, special opportunities to rise. Kvaratskhelia, 65 million. He's better than Mudryk you wanted for 90 million 2 years ago. Arguably one of the most exciting wingers you can get currently on the market. For a cut price deal, especially since in summer, Napoli wanted 150 million for him. It's more than half the price off. He's on 30 grand a week at Napoli. 30 grand. And if you look, you pay Trossard 90 grand. You pay Martinelli 170 a week. What are we doing here? You have the opportunities. You just don't want to spend the money. Just say it as it is. Just say it as it fucking is. Don't beat around the bush and say it as it goddamn is. Which first team are you happy to see go to rectify this Kai Marino Rice left 8 issue? What do you mean by that? Which first teamer are you happy to see go to rectify? Oh, basically which first team player I'm willing to sell to fix the issue in the left 8 position, basically. That's what you're asking. Basically, that's what you're asking. Just to basically go into how Arsenal tend to do business. Look at this. How Arsenal used to do business. 22nd of July 2017. Arsenal reject 10 million offer for Kieran Gibbs from West Brom. Right? Fast forward 1 month. 1 fucking month. West Brom signed Kieran Gibbs from Arsenal for 7 million. So we dilly-dalled for a month and we sold Kieran Gibbs for 3 million less than we could have got. This epitomizes Arsenal in transfer windows for selling and signing players. This is basically what you need to show everyone to prove that Arsenal are not serious as a club. How bad our transfer strategies is. How bad our scouting department is, and how bad we are at negotiating deals, signing and selling players. This basically shows it to a T. July 22nd, 2017, we rejected 10 million offer for Kieran Gibbs. 30th of August, 2017, 1 month later, we sold Kieran Gibbs for 7 bloody million. 3 million lost. And nothing has changed. Nothing has bloody changed since then. How mad, how wild, and how embarrassing is that? Think about it. Genuinely think about it. And this is the best part. There are top gunners that say that we don't need attackers, we don't need forwards, we don't need strikers. 49 shots, 10 on target, so 20% of the shots we get on target. XG, who cares? We have scored 1 goal from 49 shots. 0 out of 10 big chances scored. And let's not kid ourselves. About 4 or 5 of them have been by Kai Havertz himself alone. Yesterday against United, he hit the hat-trick of missing one of the big chances. He hit a hat-trick of missing 10 open goals. And on top of that, he missed the penalty in the shootout against United, which got us relegated and eliminated from the FA Cup. If that doesn't show you that we need a striker desperately, like a man in Sahara Desert needs water in the 50-degree Celsius heat, I don't know what will. Seriously. I don't know what will. Oh, some other news. Aston Villa. Remember that club? We played them in a week. Aston Villa have signed ex-Arsenal Academy player Daniel Malen from Borussia Dortmund. Agreement reached with Borussia Dortmund for 23 plus 3 million in add-on fee. Medical and formal steps to follow soon to seal the deal. So basically, they're signing a right mid / striker. For Borussia Dortmund, he tends to play right mid, right wing, or striker. Which now begs the question, is Duran available? Is Watkins available? Should we go in for one of them? Because the way Duran is playing, it looks like Watkins has dropped his form a bit. It looks like Duran might be a bit more favored by Emery currently. And a bit later on, this news came out. West Ham have made a bid for Aston Villa's striker John Duran, according to TBR Football. West Ham are bidding for Duran. Would I take Duran at Arsenal? Yes, I would. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I would. How comes West Ham have more ambition than Arsenal in this transfer market? How comes any other club in Premier League has more ambition in this transfer window than Arsenal? Let's be real. And that now all falls to Arteta and Kroenkes. Arteta wants a specific type of profile. I hate that word, by the way. Profile of player. How about you actually sign the players you need and don't worry about the profile? Because Arteta has never signed actually an out-and-out striker. And on top of that, he has never coached an out-and-out striker. He had one of those, but he put him on a left wing. Half the time he was at left wing back, aka Aubameyang. He put Lacazette up top, who half the time spent as a 6, as an 8, defending. Arteta, in my opinion, doesn't even know how to coach an out-and-out proper striker. Because every single forward he has signed is not even a striker. Havertz is not a striker. God knows who he is. Gabriel isn't a striker. Jesus isn't a striker, sorry. He is a right winger, left winger more than a striker. Trossard isn't a striker. Martinelli could play as a striker, but Arteta doesn't see him there. The same level as Zinchenko could be a midfielder, but Arteta doesn't want to see him there. Another stubbornness, highest level of stubbornness from Mikel Arteta. Let's not forget Martinelli was cooking at striker for Unai Emery. Arteta has never used him there since. Pretty much ever. Zinchenko has never played for Arteta in midfield. Oh, he inverts from left back into midfield. Shut it. He doesn't start him as a left 8. We need a left-footed left 8 if we want to play like this. And Zinchenko fits that to a T. He plays for Ukraine as a center mid because they have Mykolenko as a left back from Everton. But at the end of the day, more excuses, more arrogance, and everything stubbornness from Mikel Arteta that keeps us dragging down more and more and more and more. And that is big issue. Big issue. And continuing on the injury issues, Gabriel Jesus is undergoing further scans to determine the length of his injury. So basically that means he's either going to have a surgery and he's going to be out for about 9 months, according to reports, or he's gonna have a bit lesser of an injury and he's still gonna be out for 3-4 months, which means he's gonna be out till the end of the season. We're gonna be lucky if he's fit for summer transfer window for us to try and sell him. Because this whole transfer window, there are reports coming out that Arsenal are willing to sell Zinchenko right now in January and sell Jesus in summer. If Jesus is injured, how are we gonna sell him? He's on 265 grand a week. Who is gonna pay that for him? Who's gonna pay his wages? He's gonna have to take massive wage cut as well. Massive wage cut. And to make matters worse, remember Palmeiras were coming in for Jesus. Where was it? Arsenal rebuffed a bit for Gabriel. There was how much did Arsenal? There was reports. Something like that. Give me a sec. I'm gonna find this. Jesus to Palmeiras. There were talks that Arsenal rejected about 30 million bid for him, or 40 million even. Arsenal, Gabigol, Sunday, 1-0. VAR. Wait. Let me find this. Gabriel Palmeiras, 40 mil. Here we go. Here it is. I found it. Arsenal are willing to sell Jesus during the January transfer window if they can recoup around 40 million for him, and Palmeiras may be willing to match that figure in 2025. And there were also reports that Palmeiras were willing to take Jesus and pay around 30 to 35 million for him. There were reports about that. Genuinely were reports. But Arsenal, they said, no, we don't want that. We genuinely don't want that. And now he's injured, and we will be lucky if he can sell him. Not gonna lie, wishing him a speedy recovery and everything, but it's time to go. It genuinely is time to go. Nothing more, nothing less. It's actually kind of insane when you look at things how Arsenal have been moving in this transfer window. But yeah, the biggest highlight of the day is still this quote from Mikel Arteta. He gets asked, are we going to win big trophies? And he says, I don't know. That alone shows a losing mentality. Loser mentality. Because he has never come out and said that we're going to win anything. Odegaard came out in the beginning of the season and said that we're going to win. Rice said that we must win. Saka came out and said that we must win. Saliba said that if I want to be world class, I must win. Do you think that they gonna stand for this BS with Mikel Arteta much longer if we don't win? Because this actually might be be-all end-all at the end of the season. Some of these players could instantly turn their backs and say, well, I'm handing in a transfer request. It's just a matter of time if we keep this up. Because it's gonna be one of the other. Either Arteta goes, we get a new manager, and the players stay, or those players, as soon as a good offer from a big team comes in, they gonna basically peace out, nerd, sayonara, sucker, and they gonna be out of here. Saliba to Real Madrid, Martinelli if there's a chance, Saka as well might leave. Yeah, Saka is Arsenal through and through, Haaland and everything, but to be a big guy, to be a world-class player, you need trophies by your name. And Arsenal currently, especially under Mikel Arteta, cannot provide that with him. Let's be real. Arsenal with Arteta cannot provide that for him. And Saka doesn't want to be another Harry Kane, where he has insane amount of GA, insane amount of goals and everything. Yet he has no trophies by his name. Saka doesn't want to be that. Like seriously, Saka doesn't want to be that. Who would be? Unless you're a loser, maybe then. But if you actually have some ambition in your life, you want to be the best, you want to achieve greatness, you want to leave a legacy behind, you're gonna strive for greatness, you're gonna reach for success, you're gonna reach for trophies. And sometimes that means making hard decisions. And in this case, that would be handing in transfer request. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised. Now let's not forget, at some point it's gonna happen if nothing changes. Maybe sooner than actually we think. Genuinely, maybe sooner than we think. Maybe players might turn on Arteta. Maybe Arteta might lose the dressing room because there are rumors that it actually is happening already to some extent. Who knows? Because the way players are playing, the body language on the pitch, it generally doesn't look that way, that that team is playing fully to their maximum abilities. Either it's the tactics and Mikel Arteta is basically handcuffing our players, boxing in them in his insane system, which basically has made us worse, or they are just done. They want Arteta gone. Because I know that there are players in the Arsenal. For me, prime example might most likely will be Trossard, who maybe doesn't want to say this, doesn't want to admit this, like in public eye, which, let's be real, wouldn't be good for his career, but he's Arteta out. He scores goals at times, he doesn't celebrate them, he doesn't look like he's too happy. He just got offered a new contract, he threw it back in Arsenal's face. Arsenal offered him a 1+1 type of deal. He's on 90 grand already, so I assume that will be an increased offer for like 110, 120 as well. In my opinion, if Arsenal offer him 2+1, he's gonna accept it. Yeah, then he actually might accept it. But who knows? Genuinely, who bloody knows? We need more people in the fan base to start calling out this stuff. Because currently there is no accountability in this club. Arteta doesn't get held accountable for anything. Top Gunners are protecting him like he's their own dad, pretty much. Nobody's calling out Cronkies currently or anything. Nobody's calling out the players. As soon as you talk something bad about the players or the manager, oh, you're toxic, oh, you're negative, you're a bad influence, we don't claim you, fuck off, go down the lane, support Spurs and everything. That's just embarrassing and pathetic. At least some people have the standards for the club. I guess some don't at the end of the day. I guess some don't. But if we look at Arsenal's schedule, moving forward a bit, Arsenal are playing Spurs on Wednesday, January 15th. In 2 days, Arsenal are playing Spurs. 8 p.m. kickoff, so I'm not going to stream, first of all. I'm not going to stream on Wednesday. We're going to stream on Thursday. See how that goes. But 3 p.m. kickoff. Or 3 p.m., 8 p.m. kickoff. That will be a nuts one. It's a must-win game. Every single game for Arsenal this season now is a must-win. If we want to have any chance, any other inkling to winning the league, or actually going even challenging for it, we need to win every single goddamn game that is left. Because for me, title race is over. Unless Liverpool let us back in the race. This is not a race. Basically, Liverpool are leading. Unless Liverpool let us back in the race, we are never going to catch them. Liverpool might drop points. Okay, cool. Yes, they will. Do you think Arsenal will be ready for that? Liverpool have dropped points on few occasions already this season. And Arsenal have dropped the points at the same time. Playing before Liverpool, by the way. And sometimes after. City are 6 points behind us. They're gonna catch us eventually. It's not gonna take too long for them to catch us, to beat the teams while Arsenal are dropping points. Especially since we are playing them at, yes, we are playing them at Emirates, but we are playing them in 3 weeks. We are playing City in 3 weeks. Wouldn't be surprised, and I guarantee you that at that time, the gap between Arsenal and City is gonna be either 3 points or we're gonna be on the level points. Because we have 3 games in Premier League. We have a game at home against Spurs. We have home game against Villa. 2 games where, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of scared shitless. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what's gonna happen. And I'm very scared that Arsenal actually will lose. Then we have Wolves away. Wolves are currently in a very good form. And I don't think Arsenal will have an easy day away at Wolves as well, at Molineux. 100%. So currently looking at the schedule, especially in this January transfer window, I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared. Because I want to see this club succeed. I want to see this club win trophies. The way we're moving, only trophy we're gonna win is nothing. It's participation trophy. You know, as a kid when you get participation trophies in some events. That's about it. We have 2 games left in Champions League. At home against Dinamo Zagreb, away against Girona. We should win both of those games. Will we? Who knows? Even though we are in a very bad form currently, we are struggling and we're useless pretty much, we should be beating those teams. Mind you, Girona away will be hell of a game. Hell of a game. Michel Sanchez is actually a fantastic manager. And I'm, to be honest, very excited to see how Girona play against Arsenal. Because to some extent, and I kid you not, I would take Michel Sanchez at Arsenal. I generally would take Girona's manager at Arsenal. The way he plays football, the way he sees football, philosophy and everything, I would actually take him. Yes, he hasn't won trophies, but he has gotten three different clubs promoted from Spanish League 2, Segunda, into La Liga. Huesca, Girona, and I forgot the third one on top of my head. He plays very good football. Yes, last year he basically scared Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Athletic Bilbao, all the top teams shitless, with challenging for the league, with a budget that's pretty much championship level budget. Oh, but he didn't win, he balled it. So what? He should not be there. He should not be up there with the top teams in La Liga. Based on Girona's budget, he should be about mid-table at best, given how Premier League works if you compare Premier League to Girona and La Liga. He should be mid-table. But he actually gets the tune out of his team. They have style, they have system, and it works to perfection. Yes, they have lost their best players this season. They're struggling a bit more. At the same time, they're still doing good. They still have the same system, same style. They find the proper replacements. They know who to sign to fit it. And it's working. It genuinely is working. If we look, by the way, at La Liga table. If we look at La Liga table currently, right? La Liga table. Girona are sitting 7th in the table. 7th in the table, Girona are sitting currently. Only 3 points behind top 5. 3 points. They had very slow start the season. I admit they had very slow start the season. They have picked up the pace. They're not the same. I'm not gonna lie, they're not the same without Savio, Yancuto, without Juan Garcia and everyone else. They're not the same, but they're still very decent team. They play very good football. And they play football on their terms. They don't allow the opposing side to dictate the play they're gonna play. They are playing their own style of football. It will be very interesting to see how Arsenal do against them. It genuinely will be very, very interesting to see at the end of the day. Do I have confidence based on current form that we gonna beat them? No, I don't. That is the worst part. Now let's be real. We travel to Girona, right, on January 29th. 4 days later we play City at Emirates. Then we have game against Newcastle away. And we are not winning that game 100%. We need to win 3-0 or at penalty, we need to win 2-0 and somehow drag it to penalties and win it on penalties. We actually need to win 3-2 to actually progress through. We haven't had a goal against Newcastle in 2 years. We had one shot on target against Newcastle in 2 years at St. James Park. Look at Bromley. They just went there in FA Cup. They scored in the first 6 minutes. They scored instantly. Bromley have scored the same amount. Bromley, have the same amount of goals as Arsenal have shots on target against Newcastle at St. James Park in 2 years. How does that work? Generally, how does that work? Obviously, after Newcastle, we have 10-day break. 10-day break till Leicester game. What do you think is gonna happen? Will they fly to Dubai once again to eat Salt Bay's meat? Pause. Or something? What they gonna do? How they gonna get rewarded for their shit performances? Oh, a trip to Dubai probably. What else can we expect? Generally, what else can we expect? But ultimately, I'm gonna reiterate this. We have a game against Spurs on Wednesday. On Saturday, we play Villa. We play Wolves away in January 25th. Very hard games. Yes, Wolves are currently 17th in the table. 4 wins, 4 draws, 12 losses. But they're kind of hit and miss. At Molineux, they're very tough to beat. Let's be real. It's gonna be a struggle, especially in the form we are right now. Don't be surprised that Mateusz Cunha does a madness there. Someone does a madness. Bellegarde scores. Lamela, someone scores a banger, and it's gonna be a massive struggle for Arsenal. Yes, they're on the same points as Ipswich. At the same time, you never know. With Arsenal, it's the biggest issue. It's the same issue. And that's what is worrying. I don't know what to expect. And at the time that we are 2 weeks into this transfer window, we should be doing something. We should be improving our team, getting stronger, getting better and everything. What do? Exactly. As always, in January, we sit back and do nothing. Oh, but it's hard window. There are no opportunities. There are opportunities everywhere. This window actually is very, very open and nice for comparatively to most January windows I have seen. Many opportunities. Arteta preaches on making the best of these opportunities, waiting for unique opportunities. He's waiting for them to present itself. And they have. They have multiple ones. But Arsenal just don't do it that way. Big up Irvin. Big up Irvin. It's a disgrace the amount of PR and protection around Arteta. No other manager has ever been given the free pass. Like, exactly. There is no accountability. There is nothing. No for players, no for manager, no for owners even. He's more, as I say this, he's more protected than the President of the United States. He has more protection from the fan base, from the top gooners and everyone. It's actually insane to say the least. It's mad. They're protecting him like he's their own dad at the end of the day. That's how it works. And he can do no wrong. And as soon as you criticize him, call him out, hold him accountable to something, instantly, oh, you're toxic, oh, you're negative, go support Spurs, we don't claim you and all that stuff. Like, it's embarrassing. It's a disgrace. Complete, utter disgrace. How protected he is, how he doesn't get held accountable for anything he does. He can do no wrong. Apparently, he can do no wrong. Nobody is better. He's the best looking Spaniard we know, as the banner says at the Emirates and everything. We got super duper Mick. He knows exactly what we need. Tierney at the back, Gabi in the attack. Nothing of that works. We don't have Tierney at the back. Arteta doesn't rate him. He doesn't invert. That's why Arteta doesn't play him. Gabi in attack. Well, yeah, we have Gabriel Magalhaes in the attack. He can score more than our attackers. Our defense scores more than our attackers. Which team does that way? Which team plays that way? We're playing like legitimately League 2 football team. Like, I don't know, we're playing football like Harrogate or something. Like, embarrassing to the maximum extent. Embarrassing to the maximum extent. But hey ho, it is what it is. And then every time we get a corner, fans celebrate it like it's their birthday. Genuinely, way, a corner, way. And then we say, and then the fans, waka waka, and all that crap. All happy, all lovey-dovey. No accountability, no nothing. Nobody cares. Genuinely, it feels like most of the fan base doesn't care that this club is sinking. Nobody cares. How about Zaminamna, waka waka, 60 million down the drain. Go away, Havertz or Wiedersehen. Something like that. A question for the ages. Genuinely. I assume it's not a rhetorical question as well. Nicholas Glover is a saint in the Arteta. Pretty much. A lot of fans love Arteta and individual players more than the club. Exactly, that's the thing. At the end of the day, nobody is bigger than the club. Yet how these fans are seeing this, Arteta is bigger than the club, Saka is bigger than the club, everyone's bigger than the club. Nobody cares. As long as we get top 4, everyone's happy. As long as we challenge, everyone's happy. How about trophies? How about the legacy? How about the fact we haven't won Premier League in 21 years? How about we haven't won FA Cup for 5 years now? Since Arteta spent 750 million, got every single his own player he wanted, and has done nothing with it. How about that? How about winning Carabao Cup, which he haven't won for 60 years now? How about that? Yeah, 65 million down the drain, Kai Havertz, auf Wiedersehen. As they say in Germany, it says goodbye, means auf Wiedersehen. Arteta's can and Saint Windog, Saint Jover, Bleska, exactly. Then he has Odegaard, his love child and everything. Saka, who carries all the workload and everything. Exactly. 800 million for two community shields. Arteta counts those as major trophies, by the way. 800 million for two community shields. Oh, but don't forget, we won the Dubai Cup. Champions of Dubai, you'll never sing that. We won the Emirates Pre-Season Cup as well. Don't forget that. 800 million to win those two as well. It's wild. It is genuinely, absolutely wild. And then this club has the nerve, at the end of the day, to paint Josh Kroenke outside the Emirates on the wall. Put a mural for Havertz and the Donkeys and Win the Dog and Nicholas Jover, the set piece coach, when we score 2 corners a season and 2 corners in a game and stuff like that. There's all these players, there's all this zesty stuff going on. When you genuinely, if we didn't have Wenger's statue, Henry's statue outside the Emirates, you would never tell. You would never tell. Because in that mural on the walls, there is no Henry, there is no Bergkamp, no Vieira, no Seaman, no Lehmann, no Pires, none of those players. No Winterburn, no Keown, no Sol Campbell, none of those. All of the recent players. All of them. Players who legit have won nothing at the club. Who are, at the moment, none of them can be considered near being legends of the club. I'm getting even sick of speaking them in the same existence as world legends of Arsenal. None of them are. Set piece winners 2024, you'll never sing that. Exactly. Subgunners will try to get a statue for... Exactly. Arteta will get sacked at some point. Or he's gonna leave, resign, whatever, right? Subgunners will paint his mural on the wall. He's gonna get a bronze statue outside the Emirates and everything. 100%. They will try, they will start a petition, everyone will sign it, they will hand in the UK government and everything. The most embarrassing part, there's Josh Kroenke's picture on the wall outside the Emirates. That pisses me off the most. For what? Be excited, they said. Be excited. And excited for what? For this crap? For this embarrassment every single season? Not to win any trophies whatsoever? Winning every cup you ever are in? It's pathetic, man. Anyways, I think on that note, I'm gonna end today's stream. If you haven't subscribed, smash the thumbs up and everything. Because like the Pied Piper leading Arsenal fan, basically. And Arsenal fans are following that like blind sheep. Basically. The things Arteta is saying these days post-football matches getting... Dude, it's genuine head loss, and it's like the last few weeks before Ten Hag got sacked. It's like he's losing the plot, literally. Yeah, Ten Hagitis, exactly. Big up, Erwin, big up, my guy. Thanks for the sub. As I said, if you're new around here, subscribe, like the thing, share it around, leave your comments down below. If you're watching this as a playback, I answer to every single comment. Take care, stay safe, have a nice evening. Prepare yourselves. Start preparing yourselves already for Wednesday. Because it's gonna be hell on earth, no matter how you're gonna, whether you like it or not. Let's be real. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time, I'm gonna be here once again to have a preview for the North London Derby, which genuinely, I'm not gonna lie, I am scared for. I am scared for this North London Derby. But we're gonna talk about that much, much more tomorrow. So take care, stay safe. Have a nice evening. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your day tomorrow. Arteta out, and see you all tomorrow. Peace.